The stunning yard on the left cost less than $4,000 to build. The plain one on the right, the owners spent almost double that, and it still looks unfinished. The price tag and the wow almost never match up. And once you see why, you'll never look at a backyard the same way again. Stick around, because we're counting down the 10 best landscaping ideas that turn an average backyard into something people stop and stare at without draining your savings account. Let's get right into it. Number 10. Fresh mulch is the cheapest facelift in landscaping. One easy upgrade almost never makes it onto anyone's to-do list, and it's almost embarrassing how cheap it is to fix. Old, faded gray mulch makes an entire garden bed look neglected, even when the plants inside it are healthy. Now picture that same bed after a fresh, dark layer goes down. The colors of every leaf and flower suddenly look richer just by contrast. 2 to 3 inches, spread evenly, kept off the base of the plants, is all it takes. It's the fastest visual transformation on this entire list, and it usually takes less than an hour per bed. A large bag runs somewhere around $4 to $5 and covers more ground than most people expect. Compare that to the cost of new plants or a redesign, and mulch is easily the best dollar-for-dollar upgrade in landscaping. A small detail that changes everything. Don't pile mulch up against tree trunks and stems like a little volcano. That traps moisture against the bark and invites rot and pests. Keep a few inches of clear space around every trunk and pull the mulch back into a flat ring instead. Professionals refresh mulch once or twice a year for a reason. It also blocks weeds and holds moisture in the soil, which means less watering and less weeding for the rest of the season. Once your beds are looking fresh, the next fix is even easier, and it's sitting right behind them. Number 9. Paint the fence before you plant anything. This one gets skipped almost every time, and it's probably the cheapest fix on this entire list. A tired, gray, weather-beaten fence makes everything in front of it look tired too, even brand new plants. Paint that same fence a deep charcoal, forest green, or matte black, and every single plant you put in front of it suddenly looks 3 shades greener and twice as lush. It's a trick borrowed straight from garden designers in England, where fences are treated like a backdrop in a photo studio. Not an afterthought. Dark colors recede into the background and let the plants take center stage. A lot of budget gets spent trying to make plants look greener when paint solves the same problem for the price of a Saturday afternoon. 1 gallon of exterior fence paint runs somewhere around $30 to $40 and can cover a surprising amount of fence. Compare that to a $5,000 new fence installation, and you can see why this is the highest return on investment item on the whole list. This often gets overlooked. A single coat fades fast in direct sun, but the fence looks done after just 1 pass. So most people stop there and end up repainting within a year instead of 3 or 4. With the quick cosmetic wins out of the way, it's time to think about how people actually move through the yard, starting with what's under their feet. Number 8. Skip expensive pavers. Use gravel instead. Most homeowners think a garden path means pavers or poured concrete. Both look great, and both can eat $5,000 in a single weekend. Here's what nobody tells you. A crushed gravel path, edged with steel or even scrap lumber, looks just as intentional and costs a fraction of the price. Picture it curving past a flower bed, catching the late afternoon light, crunching under your feet on the walk to the mailbox. A shallow trench, a layer of landscape fabric to block weeds, a few wheelbarrows of gravel, and a good tamp down. That's the whole project, often finished before lunch. Here's where many people go wrong. They skip the edging. Without a border, gravel spreads into the lawn within a season and looks messy fast. A simple steel edge, which you can find for under $2 a foot, keeps that path crisp for years. Designers use gravel constantly in high-end yards because it does something pavers can't. It moves with the land instead of fighting it. Curve it around a tree, wrap it past a flower bed, and suddenly your yard has flow instead of just a straight line from the door to the fence. That same instinct for shaping the land pays off even more once you're dealing with a slope. Number 7. Skip the retaining wall. Build a dry creek bed. If your yard has a slope or a spot that turns into a swamp every time it rains, Most people assume the answer is an expensive retaining wall or a drainage contractor. A dry creek bed solves the same water problem for a lot less money, and it looks better doing it. Instead of a concrete wall holding back a hillside, imagine a stone riverbed winding through your yard, the kind you'd expect to find trickling with water after a storm, even though it stays bone dry the rest of the year. You follow the low point where water already wants to go, line it with fabric, and fill it with a mix of rock sizes, some fist-sized, some as big as a basketball. Scattered like nature put them there instead of a truck. It's easy to overdo the straight lines here. Real creeks curve and narrow and widen. Copy that, and it reads as a natural feature instead of a construction project. This is a favorite trick of professional designers working with tight budgets on sloped lots because it turns your worst drainage problem into your best-looking feature. A contractor-installed drainage system on the same slope can easily run into the thousands. River rock by the ton is one of the cheapest materials you can buy at a landscape supply yard. Once the ground itself is working with you instead of against you, it's time to give people an actual reason to stand on it. Number 6. Give your yard a reason to actually sit in it. Here's something most yards are missing, and it has nothing to do with plants. A reason to actually go outside and stay there. A beautiful yard that nobody sits in is just expensive scenery. The fix is a small, simple destination. A patch of gravel or reclaimed pavers just big enough for a bistro table, 2 chairs, and maybe a small shade sail or umbrella over the top. That's it. You're not building a deck or a covered patio. You're building a reason to bring your coffee outside in the morning. It's easy to assume this kind of space needs a contractor and a permit. It doesn't. A 10 by 10 gravel pad with basic outdoor furniture can come together in a weekend for a few $100s, and it changes how much you actually use your own backyard. This is the exact thing the highest performing landscaping videos always sell, even when they never say it outright. Not just a good-looking yard, but a good reason to live in it. A yard people use gets photographed, gets shown off, and gets loved. A yard people just look at from the window eventually gets ignored. With the layout in place, the yard stops looking like a budget project and starts looking professionally designed. Not because you spend more, but because you start following a few rules almost nobody knows, starting with how you arrange the plants themselves. Number 5. Use odd numbers and repetition in your plantings. This is a small rule that professional designers follow constantly and almost no homeowner has ever heard of. Plant in groups of 3, 5, or 7, never 2, 4, or 6. Odd numbers of the same plant, clustered together, read as natural to the human eye. Even numbers tend to look like a math problem. Too even, too deliberate, oddly stiff. Nurseries even sell in pairs by default, which means most homeowners are accidentally sabotaging their own garden before they've planted a single thing. It sounds strange until you actually compare the two side by side, and then it's obvious every single time. The other half of this trick is repetition along the length of a bed. Instead of buying 10 different plant varieties and putting one of each in a row, buy 3 or 4 varieties and repeat clusters of them down the bed. This creates rhythm, and rhythm is what makes a garden feel professionally designed instead of randomly assembled from whatever was on sale that week. Both of these come free with the plants you're already buying. You're just grouping them smarter. That same instinct, giving the eye something clear to follow, is exactly why the next idea works so well too. Number 4. Build one great focal point instead of 5 small ones. A small habit trips up a lot of tight budgets here. Spreading the money thin, a little bench, a small statue, a few scattered pots, a bird bath in the corner. None of it costs much individually, but the yard ends up feeling cluttered instead of designed. Designers have a name for this. They call it budget confetti, money scattered in every direction with nothing to show for it. Take that same total budget and put it into one strong focal point instead, a dramatic single boulder with plantings around it. Or one oversized statement pot with a striking plant will do more for your yard's appearance than 10 small scattered items ever could. The eye needs somewhere to land. Give it one place to rest, and the rest of the yard automatically looks calmer and more intentional. even if you haven't touched it. This is the single biggest difference between yards that look put together with love and yards that look put together with money. And it has almost nothing to do with how much you spend overall. Once the eye has somewhere to rest during the day, the next move is making sure that same spot still looks just as good after dark. Coming up are the top 3 ideas, starting with the one that changes how your whole yard looks at night. Number 3. Light the trees, not just the path. Everybody puts little lights along the walkway. Almost nobody lights the trees. That's a shame, because uplighting a tree from below turns an ordinary backyard into something that looks like it belongs at a resort after dark. Most lighting budgets go entirely into the ground and none of it upward, which is exactly why almost no backyard on your street is lit like this. Solar-powered spike lights with a narrow beam work fine for this, and a pack of 2 runs around $25. Push 1 or 2 into the soil at the base of your biggest tree, angled up into the branches, and the shadows the leaves throw onto your fence at night are genuinely beautiful. Surprisingly, restraint matters more here than wattage. Too many lights, or the wrong color temperature, kills the effect fast. Stick to warm white, not the bright blue-white kind. 1 or 2 well-placed lights beat 6 scattered everywhere. This is the kind of detail a landscape lighting company would charge you hundreds of dollars to install with wired fixtures. The solar version gets you 80% of the effect for 1/10 of the cost. Lighting controls what people notice once the sun goes down. The next idea controls what they notice the rest of the time. Number 2. Frame your view instead of blocking it. Most people build fences and hedges to block everything outside their property line. That's understandable for privacy, but it often means blocking a genuinely nice view along with the eyesores, a mature tree next door, a nice patch of sky, a distant hill. Instead of blocking everything evenly, leave a deliberate gap or window in your fence or hedge line that frames just the good part of the view. A slice of sky, a neighbor's old maple lit up gold in October. Landscape designers call this borrowing scenery, and it makes your yard feel bigger than its actual property line, like the view belongs to you even though it doesn't. A simple version of this won't cost you a cent. It's just where you choose to plant or where you leave your fence panel open. A slightly fancier version uses a cutout lattice panel or a framed opening, which might run you $50 to $100 in lumber. Try to frame too much though, and it stops working. One clean, deliberate view beats 4 scattered peekaboo gaps that just look like unfinished fencing. People often find this out backwards. They pay for a full privacy fence, then a year later realize they miss the one view it blocked. Every idea so far has focused on one part of the yard. This last one changes how you think about the whole thing. Number 1. Pick 3 materials for your whole yard and stop there. One trick professional designers rely on constantly explains why some budget backyards look like they belong at a 5-star resort, while other, pricier yards still look messy. The materials themselves matter less than you'd think. What actually matters is how many different ones you're mixing together. Walk through almost any yard that looks like it cost a fortune, and you'll notice the same wood tone, the same stone color, and the same gravel repeating everywhere. The path, the seating area, the raised bed borders, all matching. Walk through a yard that feels chaotic, even an expensive one, and you'll usually find 4 or 5 different materials all competing for attention. Red brick here, gray pavers there, a different wood stain on the fence than on the planter boxes. Before you buy a single bag of gravel or a single board of lumber, pick 3 materials total for the entire yard. 1 stone or gravel color, 1 wood tone, and 1 metal finish if you're using edging or fixtures. Then use only those 3 everywhere, on every project you build this season and every season after. The real difference is in how the materials get bought. Most people grab whatever gravel is on sale for the path in spring, then a different colored stone for a border in summer, and by fall, the yard looks like it was decorated by 3 people who never spoke to each other. This cost you nothing extra. You were buying materials either way. You're just making sure they all belong in the same yard. It's the single biggest reason a $5,000 yard can look more expensive than a $15,000 one, and almost no homeowner has ever heard it explained this simply. None of these 10 ideas needed a big budget. They needed a plan. That's really the whole secret behind every backyard that looks expensive without being expensive. Smart choices in the right order, done with a little patience. Picture the moment a neighbor walks by, stops, and asks who you hired. That's what all of this is really building toward. Not a bigger budget, just a smarter one. If you want to see just how far this kind of thinking can go, check out our video on building a Zen-inspired backyard for a fraction of what people assume it costs. It's one of our favorites, and it takes everything from this list even further. If this helped you see your own backyard a little differently, hit subscribe. We've got a lot more of this coming.